Hey, welcome to Spit in the Bit. Kevin Billy here, and we're going to talk about the Thoroughbred Championship Series that was just created for 2027. Naira, New York Racing, and Churchill Downs have combined to come up with a six-race series next summer, and it's for 3-year-olds. Starts with the Kentucky Derby in May at Churchill Downs. Then it goes to the Belmont Stakes in June in New York and Belmont. Then it goes in July to the Matt Winn Stakes back in Churchill. And then in August, early August, you have the Jim Dandy at Saratoga, and late August you have the Travers um, at Saratoga. And then in September they'll have the final race. They don't have a name for it yet, and that will be back at Churchill. And the horse, they don't have the point system worked out yet, but as soon as they do, it's the horse with the most points gets a $5 million bonus.
That's
Couple,
nothing to sneeze at.
no, that's an awful lot of money, an awful lot of hay to feed your horse. So it's a couple of things. A horse does not have to win any of the six races to win the bonus. So if you hit the board, it's second or third all the races, and you have the most points, you win. The other thing is you have to race in four of the six races to be eligible for the bonus. So if you win three and you don't run in any others, tough luck. So that's uh, the schedule. An interesting thing they're going to do with it is the Churchill broadcasts are going to be on NBC and the New
Heard this part.
York. What's that?
I haven't heard this part.
Yeah, and Naira, and I could have this backwards. I hope I don't, but I think that the Naira, the New York ones, are on Fox. So three races will be on NBC and three on Fox. Really smart move on their part um, to get two TV contracts out of this and to
Then they
not be
start.
competing. Yeah,
They'll
so
in the long run probably start out trying to outbid each other, right?
yeah, could
Oh,
be.
that's smart.
Let's get some competition going. Now, the controversial part, the bad part of it is a couple of races are affected, and especially the Preakness, the second jewel of the Triple Crown, that falls right between the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont. Horses won't be able to run in all three of those which they weren't anyways. I'll let you talk about that later, how the Triple Crown was dying, if not dead, anyways. But they're afraid that this might do it in completely. Um, but the response that the Preakness had is they decided it's back at Pimlico and they're gonna push it back 8 days. So it'll be run on a Sunday 3 weeks after the Kentucky Derby. So on May 23rd, it'll be good to go. Now, here's the other part to that is the Belmont is being run on June 5th right now. It's scheduled. So that's 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. It's 13 days later. That can't happen. I, I have heard that some people have said it's not carved in stone. They could move
That
that back a week. The
um,
Belmont could move it, and then I think we'd have the best of all worlds. We'd have the Triple Crown. We'd have the six horse series. I mean, it's pretty busy. It's 3 weeks, but it's doable. Um, Anyways, the other two are the Haskell at Mammoth Park. That conflicts with the Matt Winn um, in July, and then the
they
Pennsylvania
can move
Derby.
that.
What's that?
They can move that.
They can move it around. It's kind of busy, and they can figure it out. And
Right.
anyways, what's your thoughts on this on the race series and the Triple Crown, how it affects it?
Well, on the positive side of things, I think it's very smart. The industry's just changed as far as trainers go, right? I mean, it's it was not unheard of to come back and race a horse 2 weeks after a big stakes race for much of the previous century.
Mhm. Right.
It was fairly common. It's fairly, if not if it's for sure fairly uncommon, if not almost unheard of, with that level of horse, that level of um, purse money, to see a horse come back and run 2 weeks later.
Right.
Um, Most often, when a horse wins, and for some people, fast forward this part. Um, Most often, when a horse wins the Kentucky Derby, they're going up against at least half of a brand new field the next race out.
Right.
Uh, and
Because that turnaround was ridiculous these days, 2 weeks later. So would you agree that that Triple Crown was in danger? It was, if it wasn't already dead, it
100%.
was in danger of that if they didn't change something. And we talked about, a lot of people talked about one a month, one in May, one in June,
For
one in
sure.
July. Kind of thought they were going to go to that, but now with this 6 race series, they can't really go to that. But the Preakness made a move to make it more, um, you
Which I
know,
think is super smart on their part. I think it's a
yeah,
great idea. Um, and because that track favors a different running style than Churchill, and it's never going to have a 20 horse field. They'll top it at or cap it at 14. Um, I think even with them not being in the this 3-year-old point series, I think it I think by moving it back 3 weeks, they made themselves more relevant immediately.
yeah.
Um, because I think
And
you're going to have some horses that
yeah,
either quite ready for the Derby, or thought we don't have the right running style, or didn't break well, like a Dornoch.
yeah.
Uh,
But now the ball's in Belmont's court, whether or not they don't have to change. If they
right.
stay where they're at, horses probably can't. Well, they can't run the Preakness and Belmont. Belmont has to push back a week
And
for
they
that to be
weren't.
possible. Um,
I don't think Naira cares, because I don't. Boy, I'm trying to
no,
remember a lot. I mean, it's just not the type of um, even at 3 weeks with the running style it takes to win at Pimlico at a mile and 3/16, which again, it's a little bit shorter than even the Derby, and then to add on that extra distance to go run a mile and a half. They weren't running in the Belmont Stakes anyway. I mean, you
yeah,
had California Chrome, American Pharoah, Justify, but
yeah.
it's not a lot of horses that have run in all three races in the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah. But yeah, if they don't move it, they keep it where it's scheduled at right now, the 5th of June. The that will probably do in the Preakness, because again, the Belmont's part of the six race
Right,
series, the 5 million. So they're going right now. They have more power, so they don't have to move. But
right.
it would, for us as fans, we want them to move it. And again, we've talked about this a lot. There's no commissioner in horse racing to let's do what's best for the
The whole
sport as a
country.
whole. It's let's do what's best for us.
Yeah.
And that might be the case here where, hey, they're going to do what's best for them, and
I
it'll
think they're
squeeze.
wrong.
It's short-sighted.
It's short-sighted, 100%. And um, I think that we're still playing games at Fenway Park, for example, and Wrigley Field is a smart thing, because Major League Baseball typically doesn't do smart things. But it is a smart thing because that historical continuity brings in new fans. I mean, it for sure did when I was a kid. I mean, I have no reason to love the Boston Red Sox, but when we were, I guess I was 10 or 11, you were probably 11, 12. That 75 series as a kid, it's like,
Oh,
oh, Lynn's a rookie. He's one, like that's why I fell in love with the Boston Red Sox. And
yeah.
then it was the stadium and blah, 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 blah. But it was the history that happened before I was a fan and the new stuff. If you want to get new fans that start to dig in deep to a sport, history is an important part of that.
Yeah, I think you're speaking a lot of wisdom there. I don't think it gets the I think the 6 horse series brings
Great idea.
in the new fan, the young fan, because like people loved Golden Temple, but you got to watch him run twice. What if you
Right,
get to watch him run 5 or 6? You'll get to know these horses. But I
right.
love your point that you need the history to take people to the next level. You have to have
Yes, 'cause then you start to have
that
generational debates, and
yeah,
if we get rid of the Triple Crown, then Secretariat, American Pharaoh, Affirmed, they're just names.
citation, yeah.
Right, it's just a name. It means nothing. But if you can compare them in any way, um,
Hmm.
in a logical way, in a real way, then that matters. And of course, if they move the days, it will never be the same. I get that. But
But
we
at least
still
you'll still
talk
have
about,
it.
yeah, we still talk about Ted Williams. We still talk about Joe DiMaggio, and the and situational pitching has changed all that. And will we ever have a 400 hitter? Probably not. But you still compare them to the
Sure,
guys from the past. Um,
sure.
and I think it's short sighted on their part to not make the Preakness part of it.
Yeah, so I'm
And
all for these 6 the
100%.
series because I think again getting people to know the horses, know the trainers, know the jockeys, they become fans of those. The Triple Crown was supposed to do that, but none of the horses run in all 3 of them.
No,
So now with the 6 race series where they're spread out, that they're going to follow those horses. They're going to get to know these
and
3-year-olds, and hopefully they'll
100%.
continue on to their 4-year-old campaign and go, oh, you know, it'd be
But
even
it will
better if
build
they all were
interest
White
because
Abario
you
and
have
ran 7.
fans
Yeah, yeah, you
of
become
the way it works.
and and let's go a step further. If they could figure out how to squeeze that the Preakness in there, and I think they can, to even make it an option. It doesn't have to be, if it's 3 weeks, 3 weeks. Um, if they can figure out how to do that, that would be a home run for horse racing. I think we will
For
get the
sure.
young fan. We keep the history so people can go in deeper. We get the television coverage, and you get the excitement of the series. And then
Because things that horse racing has that baseball kind of has, um, but I can't think of any other sport that has it. Well, I guess golf for sure does. Where the venue favors a different strength. And I'm sure car racing does too. I just don't follow it. But that's one of the cool things about the Triple Crown races, those 3 venues, is the
Mhm.
tracks themselves dictate, um, who's got a slight advantage just
Yeah.
based on what running style works better there.
Yeah, you're gonna have these other races, more meaningful. I love the Travers, but if you're not a horse racing fan, you don't realize how significant, what a great race it is. Um, but you will now if you're with that series, it might be
Oh, for
really
sure.
important. Or the Jim Dandy all of a sudden having some meaning and people watching that on a given Saturday. I love
Right.
the fact that it makes more races more relevant. Um,
100%. Here's some more case in point. Because I love, like, yeah, I mean, Jim Dandy, awesome. Travers, it awesome. The history is great. That track's amazing. Upstate New York in the summer. You can't, it's just awesome. But the Matt Winn is on there, correct?
Yes, that's one of the others. Yep.
Yeah, well, like here's some of the last 20 years of horses that won the Matt Winn. Further Ado this year. That
Oh,
was one of many people's. For a while, he was your top
I
horse.
love that horse.
Yes, and there's nothing to say. The only strikes that we had on him going to the Derby, for me, were just I wasn't sure how he was going to handle 20 horses.
Yeah.
He kind of didn't like when it
He
got tight,
he
and he didn't.
he
But then he
didn't
goes
like
on,
to get pushed around. No.
yeah, but he goes on and wins the Matt Winn the year before East Avenue. I was so excited to see that horse when we were at Breeders' Cup. He almost fell down coming out of the gate and was never the same really this whole rest of his three, through the Triple Crown races, but he won the Mat win. Cyberknife won the Mat win. McCracken, Tapiture, but my personal favorite, Gunrunner, won the Mat win. And Gunrunner went on to be an Eclipse winner, as he got older.
Has
Finished
a
third in the
race named
Derby.
after him. Yeah.
Yes, he went on to be a lead. That horse has won amazing races. I think he would have been. How cool would have it been, for him to finish third, but then he starts to get better, and then you're going to that last point series, and you've got the Kentucky Derby winner going against this other horse that's slowly gotten better during the summer.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like Gunrunner's last 5 races, the Stephen A. Foster, the Whitney, the Woodward, Breeders' Cup Classic, and the Pegasus World Cup Classic,
Yeah.
all G1 won all of those.
Right. You bring up a good point too there as you're reading this stuff up. This 6 horse or 6 race series takes us up to the Breeders' Cup then. So you have
Yes.
horse racing becomes a summer activity, becomes relevant all summer. It's not just 3 races and
It's
then
missing.
people forget about it. This hopefully will draw interest all the way up and then lead us into the Breeders' Cup, which is so much fun. But people
100%.
people aren't huge fans of it. The casual fans not huge at watching it, but they should and they might if they have some horses that they've gotten to enjoy and get to know. And again, the 6 race series, and if they can somehow keep the Triple Crown relevant or get it, I
Right.
shouldn't say have it become relevant again. Now you're
Right.
having these 6 races and then the one, that's 7 races in the summer. That'd be
That are
awesome.
building upon one another, where there's a
Right.
continuity to it.
Right. And sport, many other sports have made changes to make themselves more relevant over time. And
Right.
I'm a traditionalist. I balk at most of them, and then they happen, they make the changes, and I go, oh, the sport is better. It is more fun to watch. And this is a chance for horse racing to do that. And I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna draw more
I do
people in.
too.
So hey, we should wrap it up here, but
Sure.
yeah, just to summarize the series of 6 races next summer, we're looking forward to it. We think it'll draw in some more casual fans. People will be able to follow horses for longer and get to know them more. I think you and I are in agreement that we really, really want to see them somehow figure out how to keep the Triple Crown going. Um, and it was dying the way it was. It had to make a change, but
Sure.
now
You
with the
threw the
sixth
5
race.
million at the end of the line with those other historical races, the Jim Dandy, the
Yeah.
Met. I think you're going to get more. You're going to get better fields for them too,
Yeah. You get more interest and yeah, it'll just be good for the sport. So
because
hey,
the trainers are going to these different races to get the winning purse.
yep.
I think they're going to be going to these races because of that $5 million
At the
thing.
end, yeah, they get their purse money too, but man, then they got that $5 million bonus hanging out there.
Right.
So very anxious to see how it goes. Hey, um, click like and subscribe if you guys have any questions for us. If you have you disagree with us on something, you agree with us, you have something we missed, some take, throw it in the comments. Let us know. All right.
Awesome.
All right. Well, hey, have a good one, Kev.
Will do, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.